First of all, welcome everyone to this ESA Phi-Lab Finland information session about our open call and our activities in general a bit more. As said, this is the information session for our European Space Agency Innovation Funding Program. We have a total of 4.4 million euros in the open call, and we are offering that to space-related geospatial innovations. ESA Phi-Lab Finland itself is part of the wider ESA Phi-Lab network in Europe. There's around 10 countries in the network. We're here in Finland. We're located in Aalto University, and also we have partners in the organization, and they will be shown a bit later in the slide deck. Just to show here, the graph is that ESA has a lot of other opportunities as well. So this Phi-Lab activity is in the scope of the scale-up programs, and we're offering a few $100,000 in funding. Then there's smaller things like ESA Business Incubation, which at the moment is offering $90,000 for projects. And then ESA has even bigger opportunities in the Scale-Up Invest program, where they basically can fund up to 10 million euros on different innovations related to space. But our part is supporting the scaling of business, scaling of new innovations, enabling research to become actual commercial opportunities. And as such, we're focusing on scaling these not too early stage projects, but something that is not yet ready for the market, but is going to be after the project. So we start from the technology levels 2 to 3, and then hope to get somewhere to 7, 9, 8, or 9 on the TRL levels. As said, ESA Phi-Lab in Finland is located in Aalto University. We're the main operator. Here we have me as the project coordinator of the ESA Phi-Lab, and then Svenja is my colleague, working as the coordinator for the project. Then our other partners are the Finnish Geospatial Research Institute, also located in Otaniemi, and then Finnish Meteorological Institute, which is located in Helsinki, but also the Sodankylä Observatory, which is located in Sodankylä. And here also in the session we have Ricky from Vaasa University, which is of course located in Vaasa, but this just shows that the partners are all around Finland. The northern one is in Sodankylä and the southern ones are in Helsinki region. So there's a lot of opportunities. Also meet us in person if you're nearby any of these locations. We have also funding partners. So ESA is offering the main funding for the program, but also we have Amer Cultural Fund, Kaute Fund, Technology Industries 100 Years Fund, and Weisel Fund, who are offering these opportunities for us to offer this support and support the commercialization of new innovations. Straight going to the topic, so the open call. We start with a short video, which kind of highlights the points that what we are doing here. Okay, you had this information already in the short video, but basically what we are looking in the ESA Phi-Lab is geospatial technology related to space. We have possibilities to apply with sensor technologies, from Earth observations, navigation, different distributed sensors, signals, system innovations. You can also apply with advanced computation, so basically machine learning, artificial intelligence, that kind of solutions, and also the end user focused services. And of course, you're going to have in the application a combination of all these. So it doesn't need to be just sensor, just analytics, or just a service. It can be, of course, a combination of these, or it can be so that it's building on some of the existing things, and you're not kind of reaching new areas, creating new innovations for combining, for example, new and existing sensors together, or doing something totally new that nobody has done before, or building on existing technology so that it's actually applied on space context and with the geospatial focus. We're offering, said already, from 200,000 to 500,000 euros per project. That means the ESA Innovation Seed Funding is that. Additional to the seed funding, applicants need to also do their own in-kind contribution to the project. So for SMEs, that percent is 20%, and then for bigger organizations, that's 50%. Then you can also, additional to this, use research partners in the applications. All these details are available in the application documents and the specific funding rules. But basically, you can up to 30% of the complete project cost you can allocate to subcontracting research from research institute or university, and that can be fully funded with the program. So that means you can leverage the know-how and expertise of advanced research institutes and universities to build something completely new that will become in the end of your own organization, IPR, and your own organization's business. In addition to this funding, we also offer technical and research support. That's almost 100 hours per project, and then we have also business support, and then we have also IPR support included. If you combine all of those hours together, that's up to 110 hours per project. So it means you can get a lot of information, expertise, and advice from advanced researchers who are in the partner organizations, but also business-related topics, for example, how to build IPR innovations and how to do even your pitch deck for investors if you're looking for those. Then through the program, it's also possible to access a lot of research infrastructure, which is provided to Phi-Lab partners. I will get a bit later on the details, but basically some of that is free of charge. So for example, some cloud services, you can just use those computing services, but then on some other aspects, for example, if you start to use the Sodankylä Space Observatory, the major antennas for something, those have definitely some cost in, but you can also include that in your project calculations. So you can include the cost of using those in the calculations. In the same way, if you would use subcontracting resources from some other research institute or university in Finland. Then additional to these, there's events, networking opportunities, and these kind of things. Now, for example, as a concrete example what this means, the first Phi-Lab projects now started, and they will be in a couple of weeks participating in the Space Tech exhibition in Bremen, invited by ESA to present their cases and first projects for a bigger audience in the biggest space technology exhibition in Europe. Then we go to the actual process of the open call. That's actually pretty simple in principles. We have an open call that you can get from our website, esaphi-lab.fi. Then you get two documents which are visible on the right. You have a main application for the project, and then you have a research contract draft, which is basically the legal document. Once a project gets selected, that's the basis for the actual research contract and for the details of the research funding, allocation, timing, and so on. But basically, by filling two documents, each of them are not hundreds of pages, but over 20 pages, and they have set limits as well. So for example, of the application proposal, you have a set number of pages you can provide for different information section, and please stay in those because that's also one of the evaluation criteria. So if we get too long applications, they will be disregarded as too long and not accepted to the tender evaluation. The actual tender evaluation happens after the tender opening board. There will be a group of people there, including ESA expert, partner experts on the topic areas, and possible technical experts invited on specific topic areas. We have a very wide range of technology in the call, so it might be that we need to invite some, for example, ESA specialist on remote sensing or SAR technologies or whatever is used in the applications. The applications are evaluated after the cutoff day. So basically the next cutoff day, which is also in this last slide, is 20th of November. Then we will probably have the evaluation somewhere closer to the end of the year. And then probably the next projects are going to start in start of next year based on what criteria there are. And also, of course, you can indicate in the applications when do you want to start your projects, how many months you want to have it. And you can basically have from 12 months to 24 months. 24 months is the maximum. And that's the period where you should include all your work packages, all the items, deliverables, and so on, what you do in the project. Application for open call, as said, very cheap documents, very simple to fill. Please read all the instructions. There's a lot of stuff there, so things with blue color are indicating the guidelines, how to fill those, and you should also include all the information there. Based on previous received applications, please also check where the document saying sign here, because we have had some signatures missing from previous applications, and that's a big hassle to get those organized before the actual evaluation can happen. Evaluation criteria, we're not just analyzing the science or the research, that's 30% of the thing. Then we are looking for the commercial opportunities, so please indicate in the applications what kind of markets you're looking for. If you have detailed information and evaluations of the market potential, for example, or letter of interest from potential clients, not having an order yet, but basically showing interest in the whatever you're planning to do, that's also a benefit. You can include the letter of interest in the application. Then on activity and management proposal, that's really important part of that as well, because with that we evaluate how does your application fit to the know-how of the Phi-Lab. Are you utilizing the resources available? And for that, I would also recommend to contact the partners indicated in the application documents and ask about those resources. Because there's a lot of hardware worth of millions of euros that can be utilized for the projects if you have something, for example, related to signal processing, if you're developing a satellite, or if you're just looking for some kind of cloud resources to test your models, for example. And then what is also very important, the experience of the team. So we are evaluating that from the business side, but also from the technical side. Do you have people who are capable of doing what you're kind of requesting? Is your partnerships and subcontractors are presenting wide scope of people and experience on the field of the application? So this is, even it's 1 year or 2 years long project, it's still quite tight schedule. And if you lack all skills or you lack specialist people on the field you're doing, then it's going to be very short time to train anybody in the project. Just to point out the Phi-Lab research infrastructure, as said, there's a lot of stuff. Aalto University, for example, has the small sat laboratory, which is the one where they built Aalto 1, now for sale 1B. They built basically all the Aalto University satellites, which some are going to the orbit, and some have already come out of there, and one is still in orbit. So those kind of things can be utilized. There's also ground station setup process shown on the smaller picture below, and that one is available as well. So if you want to communicate to a satellite, you want to test some kind of signal things with actual satellite communications, that's possibility. Then there's a lot of testing facilities for electronics, microwave, and sensor development as well. Finnish Meteorological Institute is offering the Arctic Space Center. This is also the big super site for European Space Agency, and there's a lot of things there. Satellite communication, cloud virtual services. There's also the ground station, which can actually communicate with existing satellites, or you can test using live data from satellites, for example. And Finnish Geospatial Research Center is also promoting this. They have a lot of things as well on their list. Some of them are applications. So for example, HAAS-LIP is related to high accuracy service provided by Galileo. There's different calculation solutions for satellite positioning. You can actually utilize the data from all the national FinPOS, FinRef permanent monitoring satellite stations. You can use the services there. Geoporti has a lot of different geospatial datasets available that can be also utilized for the service. And if you're looking for wider European information of existing geospatial information, Location Europe is sharing that from several countries. But as said, a lot of details behind this, and it would take couple of hours to go through all of them. So if you're interested on any of the research resources, I would recommend to contact the people in the application documents and then ask more details and even consultation like, would this fit my solution, what it could bring into my application. As said, more details on the infrastructure is in the application documents. Some of those services are free of charge, some of those cost for the use. So they're reasonably priced. They're not fully commercial pricing based on the who are providing those, but as said, if you want to use a huge antenna for a week, that's going to cost something, but if you want to use a cloud service, that might be free of charge. And there's also, of course, other opportunities like through Geoporti to use some of their geospatial calculation resources. And details about everything should be asked before applying. You should include those costs in your application. So if something costs 10,000 euros to use, please add that cost in the application and then it can be considered as part of the funded activities in the process. As said already a couple of times, next cutoff day is 20th of November, coming pretty soon, but we're going to have a new one somewhere in start of next year as well, and then probably an autumn one as well. Currently, ESA Phi-Lab is operating from 2025 till start of 2031, so there's still time to apply even if you don't get your application in at this point, or for some reason, for example, your research to business project that doesn't have yet a business ID, which is requirement for the application. Thank you for your interest, and for the open call documents, please go to esaphi-lab.fi. There's a button called Apply. There you fill your email, and then it gets sent to us, and we will send you the latest version of the applications. If you got earlier applications for somewhere in the spring, there's minor updates, so please request new ones and don't use the old templates. So then we don't need to do additional editing in the application process. But that's it in short. Recording of the session so they can ask questions more openly.